Hello, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're here for the WPL Week 2, and this week we played off against the Dallas Mudsdales, coached by Texas Man Gaming. Now this is the fourth battle I believe I have had with Texas in a league. We have had two matches in the WPL and one match in the IBA D2. I believe in the WPL I won the first match 4-0, I want to say, and I won the second match 3-0. Or 2-0. I'm not too sure. And then I lost to him in the IBAD2 4-0. But that loss was pretty much just because, he had a Sizzle and I had a team that literally couldn't beat Sizzle. Great fun. I'm very good at drafting. But this season, Texas is a lot better than last season. And he wasn't incredible last season, but this season I felt he's actually pretty good. He's improved quite a lot since last season. And, we're here to win, obviously, because I'm a god at Pokemon and win every league game I've ever played in my life. Just don't watch those about over half of my league games, the ones I lost. Just don't watch those. Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna go straight into this. I lead off with my Moltres predicting his I don't know what lead I was predicting. Hulu? I really don't know why I led Moltres. His team just didn't really have a definitive lead of what I thought he'd lead, so I thought I'd try and catch him off guard with leading Moltres when he thought maybe I'd lead Araquanid. So in the end, I did think he'd predict me to lead Araquanid, but I still led with Forks, knowing that this would be his lead. I don't know, but I know I made a bad play there. So I'm going to go straight into Cobalt, the Kiram, as he's going to Volt Switch straight into his Gallade. Now, first of all, that Volt Switch damage does show me he is not Specs Rotom, which is why I actually swapped out. I was fearing him to be a super offensive Rotom, and we see he's not. He's quite bulky Rotom. There is no way that is max special. There's no way that it really has special attack investment. So here I'm gonna go back into Forks, knowing that I can take any hit from a Gallade pretty easily. He goes for a knockoff by MZ move, so it's all good. And here he goes for a Zen Headbutt, and any normal player would not be able to hit the Hurricane, but I'm a god, so I can hit the Hurricane. Like, I get very lucky in the game of Pokemon, so, shouldn't be a shock that I managed to get through that and hit the Hurricane. So, we're already up 6-5, but Maytag comes out, and I really didn't want to give this thing a free Volt Switch. My best play here was really up to Roost off, because I actually would have lived the Volt Switch from this specific Rotom if I had Roosted. This was a very weird Moltres. It was Z Fire Blast, Hurricane, Toxic Roost. I don't really know. But I fired for the Z Fire Blast to see if this was Spadef or physical defense. Pretty much, if this did about 25%, it would be a Spadef set. If this did about 50%, it would be max defense, max HP, and already would know the full set. And we see does 55, so he's a very physically bulky Rotom to prep for most of my physical mons like Absol and Buzzwole. But he goes into Ferdinand, I go into Buzzwole because I know this thing cannot touch Buzzwole. His best move would be Zen Headbutt, I believe this gets. I could be wrong in saying that. I know I got something that could hit me, but here I just, I kind of thought he'd swap out. But I still decided to go for the Ice Punch. I did not have Poison Jab. I had Leech Life, Earthquake, Hammer Arm, and Ice Punch. So I'm going to go for the Ice Punch, not make a prediction, as he goes straight into Golbat to try and take the Poison Jab. So we're going to hit that hard. Now, I knew I could knock Golbat out, but I did predict... I thought he may go Rotom, because you could see what kind of damage that was, that I'm probably his choice Scarf variant. As I go into Kiramis, he does go Rotom, so... Obviously I have Terra Volt, so I can hit him through the terrain. So I'm going to go for the Earth Power. Now, I was kind of predicting he'd want to try and bring in either Bulu, because offensive Bulu could definitely come in. Like, if it was like a Scarf Bulu, it could come in and hit a Super Power, and that would be a bad thing for me. He could also go in a Golbat, and this was also my hardest hitting move to hit Tran. I did not have a Dragon type attack, so that is... And that's what happens. He goes to Kiram, not Tran, Kiram is what I meant. I didn't have a Dragon type move to hit this. But here, I made a huge mistake. So you see the grassy terrain was still up. I thought he had leftovers. I thought he got health back from leftovers, and I was like, okay, so he's not choiced, and we're gonna be all good. And I send in Spoda because why not? But we take a big hit, but I knew I could take 2 Dracos and get my web up. And I thought he was gonna go Golbat here, but he actually goes Maytag, and I'm very good at the game and didn't forget Rotom got Defog in the new gen. But he actually goes for the Defog, so I was kind of wondering what kind of set he'd be running for the Golbat. But I'm going to go for the Leech Life and get the crit. Now here, I predict him to swap into either the Tran or the Golbat and go on the offensive with Liquidation, and he goes straight into a Golbat and we pick up the kill because he's not a very bulky set. So we're up again, 5-4. He brings in this, and this is going to give... Now, the damage here was going to give me what kind of set he was. And the fact that a crit rocked him didn't knock me out. I was counting, and on my count, I thought this would probably be banded or adamant and just offensive. But from that hit, it's not. Like, a banded set would have done that without the crit. But we see he's actually quite physically bulky. I'm going to get the poison jab off, which should have killed if he was a offensive set. But we do see max HP or max defense, one of the two. So he's quite a bulky Bulu, so we're going to lose our Spoda here. And that's going to be an unfortunate turn. But I can bring in Power, and I can go for the Ice Punch. So he's going to predict this though and go into Rotom. I should have honestly predicted the Rotom swap, it was so obvious, but I make a misplay. I'm going to pull in the Cobalt because Rotom can't beat this. And even a couple of other things. He goes into Jack Frost to drop another Draco, but I predict this and go into my Primarina. As he does goes for a Draco, and here I'm going to go for the Hydro. Now again, I was messing up on counting. For this Bulu, I thought I would 100% be able to knock it out with a Hydro Pump from where it's at. But again, I forgot about the max HP, so he comes in and does take the hit. Now, here I'm going to make the swap out into Buzzwole, I believe. As he goes into this, like, I'm sorry, but it's a pretty obvious swap I'm going to make into Buzzwole. But he did say that the reason he swapped was he did not predict another Hydro Pump. And I believe he thought that something else would come out. I went into Buzzwole because that's my main Bulu check. Now, I needed to know if this Tran was choice scarfed or what kind of set it was running, and I decided to go Primarina. And you can see the reason this is a misplay is because I didn't seem to realise that the grassy terrain was the reason Kieran was getting health back, and not that it was I thought it was lefty still. I did not think it was choiced. Now, the problem is, Draco almost sweeps me if it's choiced at this stage. And if I let Primarina go down, Draco's in a great position. And the thing is, I was pretty confident he was going to fire off the Grassy MZ here. But I went into Siren anyway as he fires off the Steely MZ. And then picks up the kill on the following turn with the Flash Cannon. So I'm just going to let my Siren go down and bring in Power again. And he's going to protect. I'm just going to go for the Hammer Arm. It's the only move I had to knock him out. And he leaves it in and we pick up the kill. It was a roll, but we do pick up the kill. Now Kiram comes out. And again, because I'm an incredible player at this count, I read that a non-choice Specs variant could knock me out of Draco. And I obviously thought it was lefty, so I was like, oh, I'll live this. Then I die. Now I think this is a choice Spec set. So I'm going to go into my Kiran because I was hoping he'd Draco again, knock me out, because a Specs variant could still kill. Then I bring in my Absol and get a free SD, and then SD again and win the game. Actually no, I just had to SD once against Specs Kiran and then Superpower and just knock off the other two because they're so low. He's going to make the swap though into Bulu. I'm going to pick up the kill with the Ice Beam. So Kiran Black knocking on the Bulu, and he's going to bring back in Kiran, which I think is still Specs at this stage. So he's going to go for a Draco. And at this stage I went into Absol, and as I think he's Specs, I thought my best play here would be Knockoff, because at Neg 2, after a knockoff, choice Specs Kiram cannot OHKO with Draco. But he's going to make the double into Rotom, so we knock out the Rotom here. And I thought this could be an interesting turn, because as I thought he was choice Specs, he was in range of Superpower killing at this stage if he was max special attack max speed, I would outspeed him and I would be knocking him out. Base choice scarfed. Now, where I went wrong was on my Buzzwole count. If I'd realised he was choice scarfed, I would have realised he couldn't have knocked me out of this against Rotom, and I would have SD'd up. And then on the when Rotom comes in, I would SD up again. Knock out the Rotom and knock off, and then sucker this and win the game. But I thought he was choice specs, so that was a rough game. I don't really mind losing. He definitely played better than me at the end with his Kyurem. I played badly around Kyurem. I played a bit badly around Bulu early game, but what can you do? You can't win them all. But we are up against Takeo next week. Yay! I think this is our 6th battle versus Takeo, and yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.